Warhammer 40k is finally on Magic Online, and I am so excited to finally play with Chaos Defiler and Canoptek Scarab Swarm. Let's go check out the full deck list. What are these brand new cards from Warhammer 40k? Well, I'm about to tell you. So the first one is Chaos Defiler. It is a 5-mana creature for 3 black red. You get a 5/4 creature with trample. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, you get to destroy target permanent that target player controls. Pretty sweet. Okay, so it's even better when you have like a Goblin Welder effect. We don't have that here today, but still being able to Karn the Great Creator for a Chaos Defiler has value. Additionally, we have Canoptek Scarab Swarm, which reads, when it enters the battlefield, you get to exile any number of artifacts or lands from target player's graveyard, and then you create that many 1/1 flying insect creature tokens as well. Okay, so the deck that we're playing today is a little bit obscure. So this is a donation deck from Velgrim. Velgrim, thank you for supporting the channel. For you, those of you that don't know, Velgrim is a Combo Cabal tier member, so they get an hour of tutoring every month. They get to face me, Discord perks, but also free donation decks and so many other sweet perks. Well, Velgrim wanted to play their Karn the Great Creator deck. My least favorite card in the history of Magic the Gathering. Velgrim is making me play it. I don't love that. But the sweet part is that it has Broadside Bombardiers as the win condition. The downside to this, you're not really allowed to play Mystic Forge and Broadside Bombardiers in the same list. So Mystic Forge left, and instead, today we'll be flinging artifacts at our opponent. The real theme of this deck is that it's a Paradox Engine deck that leverages the One Ring and Relic of Sauron to draw cards. You make a ton of mana using things like Grim Monolith, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, that sort of thing. And eventually you draw your entire library, you play some number of Broadside Bombardiers, you attack, you sacrifice some artifacts and win the game. Additionally, you could just Karn the Great Creator into a Walking Ballista. That's another option that we have, but it's really a broadside flinging artifact strategy, which is why we have Badlands in the mana base to cast this Wishclaw Talisman to find the main deck Paradox Engine, and then the Chaos Defiler. Alright, so that's the deck. That's what we're playing today. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever for Valgrim, put those in the comment section down below. I'm sure that they would appreciate the feedback on their deck list, but it's already late, and well, I need to get this video moving, so we're going to head on into the first match. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1. We're on the draw, and I will keep. We have a turn 2 the One Ring into Paradox Engine. We additionally have this Goblin Bombardiers, but I don't think I want to spend my mana playing this on the second turn. Opponent plays a Misty Rainforest. Okay. Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Ancient Tomb past the turn. They pick up a Xander's Lounge. Okay. Tropical Island. Up the Beanstalk. You've got it. We draw for turn, it's a Lotus Petal. I don't know if they're on the bug list with days in it. Those don't usually have Xander's Lounge, but I'm still going to choose to play around days here by playing out the Lotus Petal before I cast the One Ring. It is met by a Force of Will, and then they'll draw a card due to Up the Beanstalk. We'll pass the turn. They play Volcanic Island. They have 4 cards left in their hand. Another copy of the One Ring. That was a very good rip. Let's try the One Ring again. And it resolves! I love that. Draw a card. Urza's Saga. I think I'm going to choose to not play a land here and just pass. Our opponent cycles Lorien Revealed, and they select a Tundra, so now they have access to Leyline Binding. Scion of Draco, and they still have Leyline Binding mana open. We'll lose 1 life. Let's draw 2. Another One Ring. Okay. Let's play an Urza's Saga. We will sacrifice the City of Traders. Our Saga gains a mana for the first chapter. Let's try a Paradox Engine. That resolved. Okay, I think we're off to the races here. We will untap our One Ring, draw 3, play another Lotus Petal, draw 3 more, Mox Opal, let's draw 5, Lion's Eye Diamond. Oh, I messed up. I didn't float mana off the Opal. When you have Opal in play, that's what you should be doing. We'll make a red. Draw 6. Still no Grim Monoliths yet. We'll play a Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll draw 7. Oh, I forgot to make mana again. I am truly the worst. Okay, we'll play another Mox Opal. Will I ever learn to use my triggers correctly? Probably not. So if you're looking for tight gameplay, maybe you should watch a different video. But for now, I'm just drawing my entire deck with the One Ring. 13 cards left. Play a Grim Monolith. Tap that for mana. We'll draw 9 cards. 4 cards left in our deck. I'm not really allowed to use the ring anymore. We'll play a Relic of Sauron. And at this point, we just need to cast a bunch of spells and win. So I'm going to be completely frank with you. So Velgrim just went 5-0 before I started recording this video. And they're the creator of this deck, the brewer of this deck, whatever you would like to call them. And they're pretty convinced that Goblin Bombardiers is good in combo decks. I am less convinced. And I think in these sort of spots where you could win with the Goblin Bombardiers, you could also win with a ham sandwich. It's nothing against the Goblin. It's more the fact that you just don't need it to win. Just Walking Ballista for a ton also wins the game. There's also, what is it called? Aetherflux Reservoir that wins the game. Like, there's so many cards that win the game here. Like, attacking with 4 goblins. I guess the one upside of winning with Goblin Bombardiers is mid-combo, you could kill a Orcish Bowmaster so that way you don't die. That is the one upside that I can think of. Alright, we're going to play a Karn the Great Creator. Minus the Karn. I'll grab a Walking Ballista, I guess. I'm wondering if... Okay, they're going to concede. That was nice of them. I purposely didn't show them the goblins in game number 1 because I want them to board out the removal and then the goblins can be better in the post-board games. We likely want Defense Grid versus this deck. I'm going to board out an engine just so that way we have it as a Karn target. And then let's board out the Candy Trail. This probably isn't a great Shadow Spear matchup. And then maybe you leave 1 Defense Grid in the board for Karn. Let's try this out. Alright, so we have Broadside and Paradox Engine. If this was a Mystic Forge, this hand is considerably better. They've mulliganed to 6. I think I'm going to try this. Our opponent has kept 6 cards. Misty Rainforest, and they pass the turn. A Relic. We'll play Urza's Saga, pass the turn. They fetch using Misty Rainforest. They did not grab a Triome on the end step. 2 mana for an Up the Beanstalk, okay. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. Drawing Manifold Key here was pretty good. Uh-oh. Alright, no Force of Vigor there. Grim Monolith. We'll tap the Monolith, play a Manifold Key, untap the Monolith, tap the Monolith, we'll play another Grim Monolith, and then we'll tap that, and then we'll play a Relic of Sauron. This is a weird one for them to force, but I'm okay with it. We will pass the turn. They play a basic island. We draw a card, the Lotus Petal. I will float mana with the Urza Saga that's going to leave the battlefield. We can now search our deck for an artifact that costs 0 or 1. I think just another key is probably the right pick. Untap Grim Monolith. Okay, they paused on that, and then eventually they let it go. We'll untap Grim Monolith again. 5 mana for a Paradox Engine. Looks like a hard cast Force of Negation here. Okay, we'll play Lotus Petal. And Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. Really wish I would have drawn like an Ancient Tomb this game because the Urza Sagas would have gone off, but instead we're kind of struggling just to get by. So we make a Construct here, and now I don't believe I'm going to be able to make a Construct. We draw another key, float mana. Let's grab a Mox Opal, untap the Grim Monolith, and now we'll play the Broadside, and another key. We'll attack for 9. So this puts them to 9 life. So Bose says that if we attack this turn, we could sack a creature artifact and it deals the damage equal to 2 plus the mana value to that target. So even though Construct is a 7/7, it has a mana value of 0, so it deal 2. We're not really interested in dealing 2. So instead, we'll just sacrifice an extra Grim Monolith here and deal 4. They're now at 5 life. They've selected a Xander's Lounge. No play on the end step. So they still have 3 cards in hand and an Up the Beanstalk. They play Basic Forest. Scion of Draco, okay. And then they cast a main phase Brainstorm. They've already played a land. They played the Forest. The Surgical Extraction, their own Misty Rainforest, going to 2 life. Okay. So this play usually means that our opponent has another Brainstorm, and they're going to cast the Brainstorm off of Xander's Lounge looking for that Leyline Binding. The problem here is I think they're dead even if they find the Leyline Binding, because Broadside has Menace, and it only needs to attack. It doesn't even care if it's blocked. So, yeah, we win. We are now 1-0 in this Legacy League. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, our opponents began the match by revealing a Yorion Sky Nomad. We're on the draw. I think I'm going to keep this. It's probably Death and Taxes, and I'm a little bit nervous just because we don't have an explosive turn 1 hand. But unlike Karnforge, this deck does not have Echo of Aeons to recoup when you mulligan. And it looks like they're not on Death and Taxes, they're just on Yorion Control. Tropical Island for Green Sun Zenith. Green Sun Zenith is pretty scary for us. So they're on Blue Zenith, and we're a deck that really wins with artifacts. So why I'm afraid is that we need to be concerned with Collector Oof, and that's actually the one upside, in my opinion, the major upside of Broadside Bombardiers is that you have main deck removal for Collector Oof, but we don't even have Broadside right now. You have no way to dig for it. So it's kind of just random if they have Collector Roof and you have the Broadside. And it looks like they had it in their hand the whole time. Awkward. They have 4 cards remaining. We draw a Paradox Engine. Let's play an Ancient Tomb. I will go to 13 and play Karn the Great Creator. It eats a Force of Will. Okay. So now if we draw the Broadside, it's likely to resolve. They play a Ponder. They play Misty, they fetch, they select an Underground Sea. They put the Yorion to hand. Collector Oof will attack, will fall to 11 life. And let's hope our draw step is good. Nope. Another Paradox Engine. We will pass the turn. Wasteland. Alright, our Badlands goes to the graveyard. They attack for 3, we'll go to 8 life from Monolith. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting Wasteland, but that shut us off of the Broadside. I believe we've lost from this point. I'm just going to go to game number 2. We do have 4 copies of a Braid in our sideboard. Let's bring those in. Take out the Candy Trail. I feel like that card's just a little underwhelming overall. You can board out a Paradox Engine, maybe 1 Relic, and 1 Voltaic Key. You're not really allowed to board in a whole lot of stuff, I don't think. So, for example, if you wanted to bring in both a Braid and Defense Grid, I just don't think the deck construction allows for that. Although, in theory, you could maybe board out Lion's Eye Diamond if you really wanted to. Just because we're not a great Lion's Eye Diamond deck. There's no Echoes. Lion's Eye Diamond is really only good with when you have a One Ring Resolved and a Karn the Great Creator for Mycosynth Lattice. That's pretty much it. Game number 2, we're on the play. Surprise, surprise, they revealed their companion. Okay, we will try this. Badlands into a Manifold Key. They ending our key, that's fine. We didn't have any way to leverage the key anyway. We draw a Lotus Petal. Let's attempt a defense grid. It resolves. Great news. So that means that next turn we're likely going to be able to resolve Karn the Great Creator. Misty Rainforest. A Braid was a good draw. We'll grab Karn. And the funny thing here is I actually boarded out my Lion's Eye Diamonds, so I can minus Karn to go grab a Lion's Eye Diamond here. And that gives us the ability to cast the Lattice next turn. Grab the diamond. And pass. They could have fetched a Dryad Arbor there and they didn't, because they could have attacked the Karn and then brought it to 2 counters, so that way I couldn't minus Karn and then lock them out of the game. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. Sure. I think I still have a win here. And by win, I mean locking them with Karn. Although that might not be the move. So we minus the Karn, go get another Lion's Eye Diamond. I can then play Lotus Petal, Diamond, Diamond, play the new Karn, go get the Lattice. But I'm worried that it's just not going to be enough. Maybe with Urza Saga. Alright, so the City of Traders will go away. We will kill our own Karn the Great Creator, which is what everyone should do because I hate that card. And then we'll go grab another copy of Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play both diamonds, Lotus Petal, and then we'll play Karn the Great Creator. Tap for a red, sacrifice the Lotus Petal. We will kill the Orcish Bowmasters, and then we will go grab the Lattice. Okay, opponent, you're not allowed to play spells anymore. And they concede. Sweet. Game number 3. Maybe I want a couple diamonds and we'll board out the remaining Voltaic keys. Let's try this. I mean, diamond was a little bit better than I expected that game, but I did have double Karn, which I said it was good with Karn. And then obviously it was good with Karn, but maybe I'm supposed to leave a couple in the deck. Game number 3, once again, we've opened up with Defense Grid, Karn the Great Creator. I mean, I think I'm going to try this. They've elected to keep their 7. Basic Island. Another grid. Okay, City of Traders, Defense Grid. And it resolves. Good news. Wasteland here hurts. Okay. I was really hoping to draw an Ancient Tomb there. I'm going to just play the Badlands and pass. I could play Grim Monolith off of Lotus Petal. My fear with doing that is if I get hit by Prismatic Ending, I'm never going to be able to cast any of these expensive cards. Field of the Dead. Spicy. Think I'm going to pass again. Underground Sea. They now have 3 mana available. Another Lotus Petal. Okay. I'm going to just play the Petal and pass here. I don't really want to burn it for another defense grid. That hurt? Okay. Looks like they're missing land drops. They still have 5 cards in hand. Sheesh. Imagine us drawing lands. Couldn't be me. Play out Lotus Petal, pass. They still have 6 in hand. I guess I'll try to resolve the defense grid here. Okay. Looks like they're stuck without green mana. Lion's Eye Diamond that I can't really use. We'll play that. Pass. So with this next draw, we are officially 25% of the way through the deck. And not a land. Just devastating. We'll discard an Abrade. So we kept a opening hand with 2 lands in it and then never drew another land. And even after 25% of our deck was drawn. And our opponent's stuck not drawing a green land either. We finally drew an Ancient Tomb. I'm going to play another grid just to make sure that next turn we can really do the thing. Okay. So we are fully protected at this point. Even if they find the Collector Roof, we have the Abrade. Bowmasters is fine. Broadside. So it would be a lot better if I could play... I mean, I can get up to 4 mana and then play the Paradox Engine, but that's it. I guess, am I supposed to wait a turn? Maybe that's the move. Yeah, it'd be nice if we had a 0 here, but instead we have to pass. They draw Caracas. They remove 1 defense grid, which is interesting because the other grid is still protecting me for this turn. We'll play Mox Opal. Pretty good draw for us. Auto yield to that ability. Tap the Grim Monoliths. We'll make a red mana here. Play the Relic of Sauron. Make some more mana. We'll kill the Orcish Bowmasters because we can. We'll activate the Relic of Sauron to draw cards. I think we have enough mana at this point. We'll discard the Lotus Petal. Tap for red. Play Karn. And we win. Sweet. Undefeated currently. 3 matches left to go. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Let's try to win another one. We're on the play in match number 3. I mean, this is a hand that does something really powerful, assuming that our opponent doesn't have force. There's a Saga. It gains the first chapter. We'll play out a Lotus Petal. Play the Candy Trail. I said, oh, I just punted. Wait, no, this is fine. This is fine. So we get to scry 2. We'll put the Ancient Tomb on the bottom, Karn the Great Creator on the top. Play Mox Opal. And now we'll play the Grim Monolith. Tap the Monolith for a Manifold Key. Untap the Grim Monolith. Tap the Monolith for 4 and play the One Ring. And it resolves! I love that. We will pass the turn. Mox Diamond discards Mazavith, so lands. They play an Exploration. Goes Quarter. And my auto yield biting me in the butt here. I don't have a basic, so I guess we don't need to shuffle. We'll draw a card. Regretting putting the Ancient Tomb on the bottom now. Okay, so we'll draw for turn. A Bombardiers, we'll draw 2. And untap the Grim Monolith. Play Voltaic. We'll untap the One Ring, floating 1 mana. And now we'll draw 3. So I have a City of Traders, but I can't actually play anything here. I mean, I could gain 3 life using Candy Trail. I guess we'll do that. We draw another Bombardiers. I will pass the turn. And they just pass. Mox Opal's the draw. We will now draw 4. We find another Ancient Tomb. Float some mana. The city will sacrifice. Untap the One Ring. Let's draw 5. No Paradox Engine yet. Alright, untap the ring. Draw 6. No engine. I guess this is part of the problem of not having an engine in the sideboard. We do have a Wishclaw Talisman in the sideboard for a main deck engine, but that's just so much mana. I'll lose some life here. I go to 17. We'll play a key. Untap Grim Monolith. Untap the Monolith. Play another key. Untap the Monolith. Play another key. Let's draw 7 cards. Untap the ring. Draw 7. Still no engine. We'll play out a Mox Opal. Play another key. Untap the ring. Draw 8. We have drawn 3 Paradox Engines, finally. Alright, so now we need to get up to 5 mana. We'll play out a Mox Opal. Play a Paradox Engine. Lotus Petal. Alright, so the world's our oyster at this point. We can now make a bunch of mana. Okay. Let's play a Karn the Great Creator. Actually, hold on. Cancel. So many clicks. I really don't like decks where you have to click a million times. It's just really tedious. We'll minus the Karn. Hopefully they'll just concede to the lattice. Phew. Alright, game number 1 goes to us. Take that, lands. Okay. I'm sure I'm about to make Velgrim very sad, but I don't think there's a worse matchup for these Bombardiers than lands. So we're just going to board them all out and bring in a Braid. A Braid answers fears. I guess it could have like a Mox Diamond or something. There's also like some argument to like, should you just bring in Defense Grid for Force of Vigors and slow them down? But I'm not sure if that's actually good. We'll try this. Unfortunately, this is not a keepable hand. We'll send it back. This seems fine. We'll keep bottom the Badlands. First turn, Wooded Foothills. Exploration. Urza's Saga. Okay. Expedition map. Lion's Eye Diamond off the top. Turn 1, lock them out. Grim Monolith. Okay. I believe that means that we're short of locking them out, but I do have a turn 1 Karn the Great Creator. Let's play the Karn. Is there anything good I can grab for 4 mana? We're 1 short of Chaos Defiler. I feel like that would be pretty sweet here. I guess we'll minus the Karn. I'm not even sure what to grab here. We'll grab Wishclaw, I guess. Pass the turn. Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. Rashad and Port. They play another land. So they can port me in my upkeep, tapping my City of Traders to keep me off of Lattice unless I draw something that makes a mana. Wait, no. Actually, hold on. I can untap the Grim Monolith. Okay. Play a Lion's Eye Diamond. Another Mox Opal. Tap it for red. Sacrifice the diamond. Tap the Grim Monolith. We'll minus Karn. Go grab the Lattice. I think they'd have to have like Beseiju in hand. It appears that they don't. Okay. Force of Vigor doesn't actually work here. So you might be saying like, oh, they could just Force of Vigor the Lattice. It turns all cards in all zones colorless. So Force of Vigor requires a green card. There's no green card exile because they're all colorless. So they can't even Force of Vigor. They grab a Needle and name Karn the Great Creator. I have a Braid in my deck, so eventually we will draw to a Braid and win. We also have our own copies of Urza's Saga. Pass the turn. They're going to play a Mox Diamond. Sure. Speaking of Urza's Saga. And now we have 4 mana. We can untap the Grim Monolith. Pass the turn. And our opponent concedes to the Urza's Saga. So we're actually now 3-0. 2 matches left. Running pretty hot. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw, and I will keep. The Manifold Keys are a little awkward if you don't draw your Grim Monoliths, and here our opponent has theirs. Okay. Ring. I like Ring. I can't do anything with Ring. Like, I could have played a turn 1 Broadside, but is that even good? Our opponent makes 5 mana and plays a copy of the One Ring. They draw a card. Candy Trail. Sure. Looking pretty familiar. I think it's only fair that I now draw a Grim Monolith. They play an Otawara, so they're on the Jewel deck. Nope, just another key. Pass the turn. We'll draw 2 cards off of the One Ring. And they're just passing. They're pretty comfortable. We draw a Grim Monolith, but we need it to resolve. Let's see if that happens. They're going to gain 3 life and draw a card using Candy Trail. Okay. Untap the Grim Monolith. I think I'm going to go big here. Paradox Engine. It resolves. Okay. Can we win? Tap the Grim Monolith. Untap the Grim Monolith. Let's play a One Ring. Pro everything, we'll draw a card. Lotus Petal is obviously a great pickup here. Untap the Grim Monolith. They no longer have protection with their One Ring, so we can win right now. Draw some more cards. Untap the Ring. Draw 3. Play the City. Make some more mana here. We'll do red-black. Play Mox Opal. Draw 4. Karn, I guess I should make mana. We'll do red-black again. Okay, tap for mana. And assuming our opponent doesn't concede, just so I can say that I played it this video, I'm going to get Chaos Defiler. Alright, so we'll minus the Karn. Yes. We'll grab Chaos Defiler. I need to make sure I cast this card at least once this league. Alright. So Chaos Defiler. Let's blow up their Grim Monolith. Wait, actually, am I allowed to blow up the ring? Holy. No, okay. I thought for a second you could blow up a ring. You can't. Good to know. I'm sure I'm going to receive a lot of the comments like, it's indestructible, Bryant. I'm like, I know that it's indestructible. I was wondering if Chaos Defiler got around that. But it doesn't, so it doesn't matter. Untap the Grim Monolith. We'll play another Karn the Great Creator. Keep the new one. Make some more mana. We'll play a Goblin Bombardiers. I realize I could float mana here. I'm shortcutting a little bit. Just trying to get this game over with. We'll win once like this, even though it does kind of take a long time. And then let's draw some cards with the One Ring. We'll play another Relic. Let's draw 7. Alright, let's make some more mana. We'll play another Relic, which is just another thing I can fling at my opponent for a lot of damage. And then we'll draw 8. Looking for the 4th Goblin. We didn't find it. We'll make some more mana. Legend Rule. I realize I could be floating mana and like all this other stuff. I just don't care. No, the other Goblin is on the bottom of our deck. Alright, let's play a One Ring. You're going to make me do this. Keep the new one. I gain protection from everything. We'll play another Grim Monolith. Draw 2. There it is. Okay. We'll play another Goblin Bombardiers. Go to combat. I'm sure that Velgrim will be happy that I did this at least once. Swing. Okay, ham sandwich mode activated. We will now fling some stuff at our opponent, like this Chaos Defiler for 7. I'll destroy the Grim Monolith this time. So with the Goblin Bombardiers, you do get both triggers on the Chaos Defiler. We'll fling the Paradox Engine. And a Relic of Sauron. Sweet. Okay. So if we're facing the Jewel deck, they have a lot of forces. The defense grids are going to be quite good. As fun as it is memeing with Goblin Bombardiers, I don't think it's a card we want in this matchup. So let's submit that. Actually, should I be bringing in a Braid over Shadow Spear? Like, is this a card I'm ever going to get? I think one a Braid might be better. Let's try this. Game number 2, we're on the draw. We have turn 1 defense grid. My problem is we have triple key and no Grim Monolith. And even if we did draw Grim Monolith, we have nothing to do. So you should actually just mulligan this. Versus Saga, double key. This hand's just lacking the mana. I do think that's like one weird flaw of this deck is like you play 6 keys but only 4 Grim Monolith effects. Like there's no Basalt Monolith. So sometimes the keys just do nothing. I'm going to go to 5. This is probably the best hand we've seen. Put the Relic on the bottom. And Paradox Engine. City of Traders, Grim Monolith. Karn, the Great Piece of Trash. Alright, play a defense grid. It resolves, okay. Really hoping I draw another piece of mana next turn so I can play one of these powerful 4 mana spells. They play another City of Traders. 7 mana. For a coveted jewel, they draw 3. Phyrexian Metamorph copies the coveted jewel, they'll draw 3 again. Copy Artifact, they'll copy the coveted jewel, they'll draw 3. They're up to 5 mana now. Another copy Artifact, now they can go up to 6 mana. They have 12 cards in their hand. For a Transmute Artifact, I believe we have been got. They select their own Paradox Engine. And we can pick it up from here. We're not winning. I think I'm just going to resubmit. What I'm hoping for in game number 3 is that we have a turn 1 defense grid, followed by a turn 2 Karn the Great Creator. Okay, next game. So we have Karn. We unfortunately have this a Braid. I mean, I'm going to keep it, I think. It's a lot of wishful thinking, but I think I'm supposed to just try to make it happen. They've mulliganed to 6. Okay, Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. They paused on the Monolith, so I think that they have a force. Mox Opal, Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void on 0. Okay. They have 4 cards remaining in their hand. Guess I'm a little bit punished for not playing out the diamond. Let's try Karn the Great Creator. And it resolves! Yes! Wait, hold on. Turn off auto yields. We'll kill the Chalice. Play out our zeros, I guess. Or actually, maybe I shouldn't. With the engine in hand. We'll play out the pedal, at least. They have Basic Island. Grim Monolith. Key was a huge draw for us here. Play the key. Untap the Grim Monolith. So that gives me 4 mana. That's just shy of engine. Let's look at our sideboard. I don't think the Scarab Swarm does anything here. I mean, I can make a 1/1. I'm going to kill their Opal and just pass. That way, if they do have Otawara and to go nuts, I've made it a little bit worse. Okay, so they just drew and passed. We find another key. Let's play Paradox Engine. Resolves. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. So now we can make some mana using Voltaic Key and Grim Monolith. Play another key. Auto yield to the untap trigger. Make some more mana here. Untap the Grim Monolith. So I can minus the Karn. This actually might be a good spot for the Wishclaw Talisman. We'll float mana. And with the Wishclaw, I can actually get 3 cards because we have double key, which is actually kind of insane. The Force of Will Wishclaw Talisman. Okay. So we don't get to go to Magical Christmas Land. Hold on. No, that doesn't work. I was like, can we get the Scarab Swarm and then exile our own graveyard and then wish for it again? But I would need another Karn for that. We'll play our second Karn the Great Creator. Keep the new one. Minus the Karn. And I'm just going to go for broke here. Let's just try to lock them out. Gladys resolves. Pass the turn. Our opponent wants to know how I'm going to win. So for the memes, I think I'm going to go get the Canoptek Scarab Swarm. We'll untap the Grim Monolith. And why not? I mean, this way, at least I can say that I played both 40k cards. Okay. And then we'll play Mox Opal. Tap for red. Destroy the Grim Monolith. Pass the turn. Our opponent just said GG's. Wow. All right, well, we're 4-0. There's a chance we're about to play for a trophy. Let's go see if we can make that happen. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. For the trophy here in match number 5, I don't know why I forgot words there for a split second. So we have a Grim Monolith, which is great because our deck really needs it to function. But the problem is we only have 1 mana. And we have multiple 4-drops. This hand's pretty risky. I'm going to choose to believe that we draw another mana. But as you saw in match 3, oh no! Come on! That's not good for me. We'll play Saga. Dude, they waste it with the trigger on the stack. They let the trigger go! Oh my, now I can play the Grim Monolith. Play the Monolith. Okay, Manifold Key. Untap the Grim Monolith. Tap it again, and the One Ring. They cycle a Troll of Khazad-dûm. We get a Ring trigger, and then we'll draw a card. Into another copy of the One Ring. We'll pass. They destroy our Urza's Saga, and they play an Underground Sea. We lose 1 life to the One Ring. We draw another key. Draw 2. We find another copy of Urza's Saga. We'll untap our Grim Monolith. And play another Voltaic Key. Untap the Grim Monolith. Tap for mana. Play a Relic of Sauron. And let's play out the Shadow Spear. Pass the turn. End step, they cast an Entomb. Selecting an Atraxa. Okay. There's Animate Dead. So the Atraxa has entered the battlefield. Daze, Grief, Force of Will, and a Wasteland. It's a lot of interaction. That said, we do have the One Ring, and we're the ability to draw a lot of cards on our turn. So they take Grief, they grief us, probably taking the Paradox Engine here. There's also some worry about them taking the Goblin Bombardiers, or Broadside Bombardiers, and then flinging an Atraxa at us. Okay, so we draw Lotus Petal. Let's draw 3. Play City of Traders. We'll make 2 mana. Untap the Ring. Draw 4. Well, that was terrible. Okay. Play another Lotus Petal. We'll untap the Grim Monolith. Let's play another copy of the One Ring. We actually need this to resolve. And they force it, exiling Murktide Regent. Because if they discard me and then reanimate my Broadside, we just lose. We'll make a giant creature. There's Grief, exiling Thoughtseize. They have 3 cards remaining. They take the Broadside Bombardiers. Is this how we lose? My own One Ring will kill me in my upkeep. Yep, that's how we're going to lose. I am not able to block due to Menace. Broadside is just the worst part about this deck. It's not even close. All right, we are boarding out Broadside Bombardiers immediately. Okay. Bring in some defense grids. Ay, ay, ay. On the play. We have turn 1 Karn the Great Creator. I mean, we probably keep that. Ancient Tomb. Grim Monolith. Play Key. Untap the Grim Monolith. And Karn the Great Creator. I'm just going to plus Karn right now. There's no point to minusing Karn. Like, I don't want to be in a spot where grief matters. They main phase a Brainstorm. And there's a turn 1 grief. Look at these lands. That's all I got. Okay. Defense grid. I think I want to hold the Saga for a turn. Let's play the grid. Untap the Grim Monolith. And then I'll plus Karn again. Pass the turn. So we have the ability to lock them out of the game next turn with Mycosynth Lattice. Wasteland. Well, that's brutal. Okay. Yeah, that's tough. We'll play Saga. Drawing a second Saga to beat their Wasteland was huge here. We'll plus our defense grid. Go Gadget defense grid. They kill the Saga. And then they play an Undercity Sewers. We'll play another Urza Saga. Followed by another copy of defense grid. Plus the defense grid. And attack. Another Wasteland. Oh, so brutal. Yep. They play an Entomb. Or an Archon of Cruelty. That's really bad news for me. We draw Saga, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough here. Target the Grim Monolith. So I'm choosing the Monolith because I think we're going to end up having to sacrifice it to the Archon of Cruelty. A third Wasteland. Stop destroying my Urza Sagas. Come on. Oh, so brutal. Do they not have the reanimate effect? It would seem they don't. Get in there. They're at 12. Except they cycle a troll. Land number 3. I could untap the Grim Monolith, but I don't think it's worth losing 2 life, so I'm just going to choose to untap the regular way. Alright, well, Engine here is a 5/5 underneath Karn at least. Come on, defense grid. Go the distance. Swing better. Land number 4. Plus on the Paradox Engine. Swing puts them to 5. It shuts off reanimate. I probably should have played the Grim Monolith, but I was so excited. So they don't have another Undercity Sewer, so they're only playing the 1. Wow, I can't believe we won that. Very lucky. Should I be boarding in a Braid for the Null Rod? It doesn't seem like it's very good, but it also hits Bowmasters. Take out a Candy Trail. Probably the Shadow Spear. 1 Engine, and then maybe 1 Diamond. We can try this. For the marbles, for the 5/0 trophy. It's a hand with all gas and no payoff. And they kept 7. You feel free to yell at me in the comments. I'm going to keep this. I think the toughest part about this deck has been mana the whole league, and I'm choosing to believe that we're going to draw a payoff. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. Turn 1 Grief, exiling Entomb. They take the defense grid. Okay. Karn the Great Creator, so that is a payoff. Lotus Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. And now Grim Monolith. Play Karn. I'm going to sacrifice my diamond and pay for this daze. For 2 mana, I can get something out of the sideboard. Let's minus the Karn. Well, let's do Torpor Orb. Shuts off Orcish Bowmasters, Archon, Atraxa, a bunch of stuff. Grief. They play another Ponder. They do not shuffle. We rip the Abrade. That's good. I'm going to minus the Karn. I'm going to grab another Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass the turn. Wasteland. So in theory, I could go all in trying to resolve the Lattice here. I don't know if I love that. So we're going... Actually, I have to wait a turn. I have to plus the Karn anyway. I actually have to wait 2 turns. So we're still 2 turns away. End of turn, they cast Brainstorm. And then cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. They waste me. I will float a red. They're now switching phases. And they're passing. I guess I'll plus on my Torpor Orb. I mean, I don't know what they'd play to answer a Torpor Orb here. Like, even a Bowmasters doesn't do anything because it's a Torpor Orb. So maybe I should have attacked last turn as well. And then we'll pass. And there's the Bowmaster. Another Brainstorm. Reanimate on Troll. Okay. Under City Sewers, they have 2 cards left in hand. They put a Reanimate to their graveyard. Attacking Karn. Another Abrade. Okay, so this seems like a spot where we'd want Ensnaring Bridge. We'd have to get rid of our Karn and be stuck for a while. And I'm saying Bridge because, like, you could get the Chaos Defiler, but if we get Dazed, I mean, that's everything. This is a tough call because, like, Chaos Defiler could give us a real chance to win, where I feel like this Ensnaring Bridge line is like playing to not lose. They've already seen 1 daze. They've kept on a couple cantrips. I don't know. Alright, well, minus the Karn. Oh, I have a Torpor Orb in play. I should never get the Chaos Defiler. Yeah, let's not just throw. We'll grab Ensnaring Bridge. Reading your own cards explains your own cards. Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. We've drawn a card we can't use. We have to pass. They can now attack with Yorkish Bowmasters. They entomb. They still have 3 cards. They find an Archon of Cruelty. They play a Wasteland. And animate Dead on the Archon. They did not attack for 1, even though they could have. This turn they remember. Okay. Draw. Okay, so we'll play a Mox Opal. And Defense Grid. They attack for 1 again. I'll go to 18. And a Hardcast Grief. Play Lotus Petal. Pass. They swing 1. We go to 17. The Relic is not a terrible draw if I can find a way to cast it. So we'll take 1. I go to 16. I mean, this is just going to eat a Wasteland. I think that's fine. Yep. Pass the turn. Also, if I could draw a key at some point, that would be delightful. We'll take 1 down to 15. Another Monolith. I'll play it. Seems like a pretty good card for them to daze. They let it resolve. Okay. They cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. Picks up an Underground Sea. We'll take 1 from the Orcish Bowmasters. I go to 14. And there's a key, finally. Play the key. They allow it to resolve. Untap the Grim Monolith. And I'll play a Relic of Sauron. We will now pass the turn. I can only make 3 mana, so I couldn't play the One Ring even if I wanted to. They attack. I go to 13. We draw Karn. Untap Grim Monolith. I'm pretty sure our opponent has a Force. They've been pausing, and that only started a few turns ago because previously they were just hitting that F6 key. So I'm going to play the One Ring first and hope that baits out that Force of Will. And here it is. They were going to alternate cast, and then... Oh, okay. Never mind. They do have to. I have a defense grid. And they exiled the Dress down. I forgot about my own defense grid for a moment. They attack for 1 again. I go to 12. Untap the Grim Monolith. Play another key. Untap the Grim Monolith. Karn the Great Creator. Karn actually resolved. Wow. Minus Karn. Grab a Lattice. Pass the turn. They flash in another Bowmaster. So that's going to put my Karn to 1. They shuffle on the Ponder. 3 cards remaining in hand. They're going to attack Karn down to 1. We draw another Karn. Okay. Let's make some mana here. Untap Grim Monolith. Untap Grim Monolith. Play the Lattice. And I'll turn my defense grid into a 1/1 creature. So that way it can block an Orcish Bowmasters. 5-0 trophy. Let's go. I love it. Okay, sweet. So technically we did cast the Chaos Defiler and the Canoptek Scarab Swarm once each league. I thought about casting the Chaos Defiler in that last round. However, my own Torpor Orb would have made that quite embarrassing. So we did get the trophy. My honest feedback. Velgrim, you thought of an interesting idea with Broadside Bombardiers. I think you... I don't feel like there's no nice way of saying this. You took the Karnforge deck and you cut a couple key elements. Basalt Monolith was a card I sorely missed this league. The games where you don't find Grim Monolith, this deck doesn't really function. And you're playing 6 key effects between Voltaic Key and Manifold Key, and that was pretty hard to not have Basalt Monolith in your deck. And I didn't feel like the upside of Broadside Bombardiers made up for the lack of Mystic Forge in your all-colorless deck. So I mean, those are just key cards. Candy Trail's cute, but I just missed the power that the Karn Forge deck has. Having a Braid was nice. I do think maybe one Paradox Engine should just be in the sideboard. Like, the whole Wishclaw for it thing is a lot of mana in order to make it work. But, I mean, we went undefeated, so maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm always wrong. I mean, that's also another possibility, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and as always, keep storming. Hey you, yeah you, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.